Hey guys, I'm Ashley and today we're going to make some custom stamps on the Glowforge here on Chip Builds. So in Illustrator I have this little SVG of a bee and I'm going to come over here to the ellipse tool and I'm just going to click and I'm going to type in for the width 1 inch and for the height 1 inch because I want this to be a 1 inch stamp. So then I'm going to switch that shape fill into an outline and then I'm just going to align the centers of these so I can get a better visual of what it's going to look like. So now that we have that centered, I'm going to go to the text tool and do type on a path and click on the circular path that we just made. My favorite font is Helvetica, so that's what I'm going to use for this. And we just put in the words be kind, especially with the way the world is right now. It's always a good reminder that we all need to be kind to each other. So what we're going to do is go up to type and click glyphs, and I'm going to look for a bullet point. So once I find it, I can put it in there and I can exit out of the glyph panel. And I'm just going to give a space before and after the bullet point just so that it's not too close together. And I'm just going to copy this a couple times until it's all covered. So now that we have the text done, the stamp is pretty much done design-wise. So I'm going to right click on the text and do create outlines because Glowforge cannot recognize a text file. It has to be converted to a path. So now I'm going to select everything, make sure it's centered again. And I think the bee kind of looks a little bit off, so I'm just going to mess around with it a little bit to a place that I like it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the outline for the stamp, and this is going to be the part that we cut. So I'm going to make it 1 inch and 1/8. That way there's an 1/8 inch border around the stamp. I just think that's a pretty good size stamp overall, and I just reduced the stroke to the thinnest line possible. And I changed it to a red outline, that way when I bring it into Glowforge it knows that that's going to be a cut line. I'm going to align it, and then I'm going to click on the B layer with the text, and I know I want that to be 1 inch. And then I'll hit enter, and then now we have our stamp almost ready to go. So just going to double check that it's aligned. And now I'm going to click on that outer shape layer. I'm going to click edit copy, and I'm going to click edit paste in place. And that's going to put that copy right in that spot of where the previous one was. So I'm going to change this to a black fill. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to the back. So I'm going to go right click, I'm going to go to arrange and send to back. So now our bee artwork with the text is on the very top layer and the shape is on the back layer. So I'm going to select the bee layer and I'm going to select the background shape. I'm going to go over to my Pathfinder tool and click minus front. And now basically what we've done is knocked out that design to that circle. So now this is one shape. So we're going to bring it into Glowforge to be a stamp. So what we need to do is right click and click transform and reflect. And we are going to reflect this in the vertical plane. And now our stamp is ready to go. By having it reversed, when we go to actually stamp it, the words will be in the correct orientation. So we're just going to open our file in Glowforge. And I already have my material in here, so I'm going to set focus and I'm just going to put the little box over on the material itself. So I have custom stamp settings, and so I have my speed at 310, I have the power at 90, and the lines per inch is 450. And then for the cut, the speed is 130 with full power. So I'm just going to move the artwork while it's focusing and it gets that clear, better image. So I'm going to move it just to a spot that I think makes sense so that I try not to waste that much material. So now I can hit print, and depending on your Wi-Fi, it can take a while to send it to the Glowforge. So one of the things I don't like about this machine is the fact that it's Wi-Fi dependent. So once the button is glowing, you can click it and then it will start your print. So once that's done, now we need to clean it, and all I do is I bring it into the bathroom sink and I use an electric toothbrush that I do not use for my teeth to clean out all the soot from it. So once that's clean, then I can go and take some contact cement and apply it to both the handle and the stamp itself. And once that is tacky, to the touch. Then I can apply the rubber stamp to the handle, and I just put some pressure on it and really push down and try to make sure that I get a nice good bond, and then I let that sit for 24 hours. Honestly, I'm really happy with how the stamp turned out, and I just wanted to show how easy it is to actually make a stamp with the Glowforge without having to pay for the Glowforge premium design service that they have, which is like $50 a month, which is insane. But I just wanted to show that you can do this without having to pay for those features to get the stamp making tool. Now overall, I think the stamp did end up looking really cool. As you can see, it worked really well when we did the stamp test on this notebook. I'm honestly really happy with it. This was just a test stamp that I made. My sister had asked me to make some custom stamps for her, so I did this as a test before I went and did the ones for her work. So overall, I love how this came out, and I decided to 3D print a little handle rather than use like a block of wood. Using a block of wood is totally fine. A lot of people do it. I just prefer the 3D printed aspect of it because you can make it any shape that you want. You can make it as tall, as fat, or as short as you want. So ultimately, I just went with 3D printing. Super simple design. So let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section, and if you like this project, and if you want to see more like it in the future. So thanks for watching, guys.